So this might be the most controversial video we've ever filmed. For those of you that have been following our farm and Greta's story, we're going to tell you what we're going to do with Greta. So the question is, are we going to eat our favorite cow, Greta? So Kelsey, give a little background on Greta.
Well, Greta here is, she's coming up on 3 years old. And she has been with the bull for months and months and months. And two different bulls and has not yet once conceived. So she's never been pregnant. But the last 2 summers, whenever her buddy Temple has calved, Greta also bagged up and started producing milk. So I've milked her the last 2 summers. But that milk alone isn't enough to justify the expense of keeping her. It seems like she's unlikely ever to get pregnant at this point. From what our veterinarian friend has told us, it's extremely unlikely she ever will get pregnant. So unfortunately, it's time for Greta to go.
So one of the ideas Kelsey had was to sell her to a farm that wanted a companion and then maybe potentially milk her. But in this beef economy that we have right now, I'd be opportunistic looking for a cheap cow and just butcher her. So I wouldn't trust that she would go to a home that had that intention. And she's an awfully big cow to have as a companion. So we have decided to consume her. So she will be going to the butcher at the beginning of April. She will, just like our other cows, be dispatched here on the farm and become part of us. But yeah, Greta was a great cow. Is a great cow. She taught us a lot about raising cattle. She was the 3rd cow we ever owned, or well, she was in the 2nd group of cows that we got. The first ones were a couple beef steers that we got when we first started. We worked with her on the halter, milk stand trained her, and now we're hopeful that some of her prodigies will follow suit, like Jolene here. So
yeah, Joe's a good girl. You're going to be a milk cow this summer, aren't you, Joe?
And I'm tempted to try to milk Darby too. If we can get her in the head stanchion, we might be able to do it.
You need like a NHL hockey mask.
Yeah, some kick gear. I'm not even convinced that she's full, like a pure, well, maybe she's pure Jersey, but I think she came from a commercial dairy, and commercial dairies will often like breed up with them. So
yeah.
And from what I've read about jerseys is that like the mini jerseys that exist were actually the original size. So they were originally small, and then because of their rich butterfat content milk, they, commercial dairies and through selective breeding, bred them to become larger and produce more milk. So she is definitely, like compared to other jerseys that we've seen, is quite large and tall for a Jersey.
I wouldn't be surprised either if she had a little Holstein in her parentage somewhere either, like maybe a grandparent or something. I don't know. She's big and sweet, and I sure wish things were different.
Yeah. But yeah, she's always at the hay feeder and always eating. She's a big consumer and not producer, so she should have had 2 calves or on her 2nd calf right now, and it's just not economical, and she's worth more as beef than as a companion, unfortunately. It's probably gonna hang at, I don't know, at least 800 pounds, I would think.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see. But for every door that closes, a window opens, right? So this gives Millie room to step up and shine. Hopefully she'll be the new herd queen. And maybe this makes room for us. I don't know. Well, we've already bought several replacement cows for Greta. So Greta leaving makes room for the new heifers and breeders that we brought in this spring.
So this round bale feeder that I just bought is 45 inches tall, so she's tall for a Jersey, I think. And the height issue wasn't the problem with the bull. A bull will find a way to get things done. I don't know. It's almost like her being the dominant cow. When he would try to mount her, she would run away. I don't know.
Isn't the pituitary gland that controls a lot of reproduction also controls body size, right?
Yeah, it could have a pituitary tumor or just some issue with that. So that seems to be the consensus from a lot of people, well, the vets that we talked to. We checked her in the spring and probably had a luteal cyst, and that seemed to have cleared up. And the only other issue could be that, it's a pituitary issue more than likely. It's causing her to produce milk and things like that. Mm-hmm. If we had unlimited funds, then we would keep her and do testing and stuff like that. But we're just poor small farmers.
Well, I think she's had like all of our animals that start with the intention of being beef animals, she's had a very happy life here. And even though it was shorter than we were hoping it would be, and we couldn't have done anything better for her than we have. So.
Yeah, she would have been culled out of a dairy herd right away. I mean, without getting pregnant.
Well, she kind of was. Well,
she was pulled as a bottle baby. So.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This hay feeder is 45 inches tall, so Jolene's right about, she's kind of downhill, but she's about 45 inches tall. Temple there, I think we measured her at about 40, so Greta was something like 52 or 56, I can't remember. So she's a big girl. I always love it when I hear the electric fence snapping. I wonder where it's grounding out. Well, we still have our other Jersey Millie, so she'll be able to be bred this summer. And with Greta, she was weird off the get-go, because I think it was like 5 or 6 months she started going into heat.
Yeah, and it was regular. She'd be mooing like crazy every 21, 23 days or so.
Where we haven't seen any, what do they call it, pre-puberty.
Yeah, I don't think Millie could even get pregnant yet. Well, even with everything Greta's put us through, I think the Jerseys are still my favorite. Yeah.
You saw Briar Rose get up and run away.
Yeah. You can be my baby. Yeah, so sorry guys, I wish we had better news. It's gonna be tough for us. But I do think it's probably what's best ultimately for Greta and what's best for the farm. So that's what's gonna happen. All right guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.